In Norway, you can be jailed for 3 years just for voicing your opinion on gender. People ask me all the time,
Hey Brian, do you really use that keto elevate stuff and does it really work?
the answer is yes and yes. Never in my entire life have I lost body fat so quickly. Not even in my prime at 25, which is over 25 years ago. I'm approaching 54 this year. If you want to support the channel and do your health a favor, grab some with my link in the description. This is reported by the New York Post. Not the New York Slimes, this is the New York Post, which is, you know, they have right leanings, okay? So I take all this stuff with a grain of salt, whether I'm reading MSLSD, CBS, New York Post, the Washington Free Beacon, the Washington Post. It's all stuff you got to be careful because there are political leanings that creep into journalistic style and compromise journalistic integrity. If you're going to take a side, you can't call yourself a journalist. But they say Norwegian actress Tanje Jevjon, let's call her Jevy, faces up to 3 years in prison for saying men cannot be lesbians. If that's true, that is crazy. So you can express your opinion about something and actually get thrown into a rape cage? A woman in Norway is facing up to 3 years in prison on criminal hate speech charges. Just let that sink in. After saying that a man cannot become a lesbian. Jevjon, a lesbian filmmaker and actress, was informed on November 17th that she was under investigation. We got to invest. You spoke words. You put those words out there, and those words expressed your thoughts and your opinions, and now you're under investigation for speaking out against prominent Norwegian activist Christine Jentoft on Facebook. Jentoft is a transgender female. That means, you know, typically biological male, that often refers to herself as a lesbian mother. Jentoft previously accused another woman, Christine Ellingsen, of transphobia for a similar claim. Ellingsen is also under investigation and faces 3 years in jail if found guilty. Unbelievable that we're not reading an Onion article on this as well. The post on Jevjon's Facebook page under investigation read, quote, "It's just as impossible for men," and this is, I'm quoting this, okay? So just in case this finds its way on YouTube, I'm quoting an article found in the New York Post by a person I may or may not agree with. Quote, "It's just as impossible for men to become a lesbian as it is for men to become pregnant. Men are men regardless of their sexual fetishes." The criminality of it all. How many people did she victimize by expressing her opinion? She must be tried. She must be investigated. She must go to prison. We must remove her from society for expressing such a thought. That's what people think. Jevjon has said that she intentionally posted her Facebook message to draw attention to Norway's hate speech laws. Jevjon's comments appear to be under investigation for falling under a 2020 amendment to the country's penal code that added, quote, "gender identity and gender expression under protected categories from hate speech." This hate speech, truth is and has been for a long time the new hate speech. Truth is treason in the empire of lies, and truth is the first casualty in any war, including this information war that's fleshing itself out into a physical war against real people who are literally losing 100% of their freedoms because they expressed an opinion on the public digital square. People found guilty of hate speech face fines or up to 1 year in prison for private remarks and a maximum of 3 years for. So if you make a private remark, if you speak an opinion to your neighbor in private where nobody else has access to that conversation and it is discovered, you get to go to a rape cage for 1 year. Wow. And if you have the audacity to publish your remarks and your opinions in a public sphere, well, you get 3 years. for those public comments. Women's rights activists, including Women's Declaration International of Norway, of which Ellingsen is a representative, have claimed that the amendment undermines free speech, you think, and expression in the country. Of course it does. It undermines humanity. It undermines basic integrity and principle. Of course it does. This is not the first time that Jev John has spoken out on controversial topics surrounding the gender and women's rights. Last year, Jev John confronted this person right here, Norway's Minister of Culture, Norway's Minister of Culture and Reality. Hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm the Minister of Reality. Oh, you are? Okay, well, we're not eating dinner with you. Bye. Claiming that misconstruing gender identity and biological sex was harmful and discriminatory implications for women, especially lesbians. Will the equality minister take action to ensure that lesbian women human rights are safeguarded by making it clear that there are no lesbians with penises, that males cannot be lesbians regardless of their gender identity, and that by tidying up the mess of the harmful gender policies left behind by the previous government, Jev John asked, end quote. Look at this person right here. This is Norwegian filmmaker and actor. This is the Jev John lady. Who does she remind you of? First thing I thought, 2 seconds into seeing this photograph, I couldn't help but think about this person right here. Does this person right here, I should put them side by side. Does she not look like Max Headroom from the 1980s? Well, Max Headroom, what was he on? He was on like MTV or something. Remember that? Remember his hair looked just like this right here? Anyway, I thought that was funny. This minister of reality said, what's her actual title? Norway's Minister of Culture and Reality. So Norway's Minister of Culture and Reality said, I do not share an understanding of reality where the only two biological sexes are to be understood as sex. Gender identity is also important. So in other words, I have an opinion that differs from the opinions of others. And if your opinion differs from my opinion, then I'm going to hold you criminally liable. And if you say that opinion in private, I'm going to take away 100% of your freedoms and take you to a cage for a year. If you say the opinion that contradicts with my opinion in public, then I'm going to throw you into a cage for 3 years. I don't care what opinion this person has. But when this person uses force, violence, and the authority and power of the state to take away other people's freedoms and ruin other people's lives, that's where we probably should all have a major problem with this. The first discrimination charge in Norway that centered on gender identity was filed in 2018. The case centered on a transgender woman, biological male, who complained that she was asked to not shower in the women's locker room of a sports center, according to a female-led news organization, Redux. Similar cases have cropped up across Europe, including Finland, where a religious freedom case saw tensions rise between freedom of speech and the LGBTQ advocates. In March, a Finnish member of parliament and a Lutheran bishop were acquitted on all charges in their case. This guy faced 3 charges of ethnic agitation for a 2004 pamphlet, for taking part in a discussion on a radio show in 2019, and most recently for tweeting a picture of the Bible. That should have never gone to court. Nobody should have ever had to hear that. All they had to do was look at it and go, "Oh yeah, that's nonsense. He can do that. He's free to do that." What do you mean? He only appeared on a radio show and spoke words and maybe displayed a pamphlet? That's all? Where's the crime? Where's the victim? Oh, you claim you were victimized because this guy committed hate speech against you? Sorry, that's not our reality. Sorry, you guys got to deal with that. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Remember that? Whatever happened to that? That fell by the wayside real quick, didn't it? In a 2019 tweet, this guy questioned her church's sponsorship of an LGBTQ pride event and linked to an Instagram post with a picture of Romans 1:24-27, which calls same-sex intercourse, quote, shameful. This person faced 1 count of ethnic agitation for hosting a pamphlet written by this guy on his church's website, similarly critical of gay men and women. Norway is considered one of the most liberal countries of Europe for LGBTQ individuals, even allowing people to legally change their gender without the need for. You can do whatever you want to with your. You get it chopped off, get something added on, do whatever you think you got to do, but don't force other people to comply with your opinions. And if they disagree with those opinions, approve the hounds of government to go take away 100% of your freedoms. Or am I wrong? I mean, let me know what you guys think about this. This is a real crazy Max Headroom kind of situation.